You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
And the Wolves play here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another amazing Monday edition of Sports Pack. As always, well, as usual, I'm your host, Richard Reed, joined as always by Carly Pear, Jackson Schrader, and John Halley. How y'all feeling today?
Feeling good.
Like
Super
$1 million.
Yes.
That's what I like to hear. I wish I had $1 million.
Shoot,
But
add me onto that list.
just give us all a little more time. We'll have it soon. Now, listen, we got a big episode of Sports Pack today. Whole lot of West Georgia sports to get into, as always. But the spring's really getting going, and all our spring sports are firing off all cylinders right now. Whole lot of basketball to talk about. Huge NBA weekend. Looks like Luka Doncic might be back, and the Lakers looking like a bit of a threat here in the Western Conference. College basketball is getting great. Got a big-time matchup tonight with Houston going on the road to Lubbock with a top 10 matchup against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. We also got some NFL news. A little birdie's telling me that Matthew Stafford is looking for his way out of L.A. We got a whole lot to get into, whole lot to talk about, and not enough time to do it. Before we get rolling, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to boost literacy rates with our pre-K book drive. Our ongoing book drive will provide a new or gently used book to every child at UWG's pre-K monthly. Give today by visiting wolfradio.com/book drive. Together, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network will make a brighter future. That is wolfradio.com/book drive. In a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. Now, if you weren't following, all those people weren't legal because the drinking age is 21. It's not 18. And that is exactly why the Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign, reminding you, yes you, that there's no drinking under the age of 21, to never drink and drive even if it's only one beer, and to add food and water when you drink so you don't end up texting your ex, which means know your limits. Let's talk some UWG.
As Widener rolls to the right, he's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it, and it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
Indeed. And our D1 sports are getting off to a great start.
We're cooking,
we
baby.
got a lot of baseball and softball to talk about. But before we talk about the sports that are just getting started, let's talk about the sports that are wrapping up. Because sadly, our basketball season are coming to an end this week. Our women's team is rounding out their season this upcoming Saturday with a home game against Queens at 2 p.m. It is a home game, and it is also senior day. Big time game, Make sure you show up for the girls. They've had a great season so far, improved a lot since last year. Super entertaining to watch them. Their last game is this Saturday versus Queens. But before that, this Thursday, February 27th, they will be on the road taking on Austin Peay in Clarksville, Tennessee. Now, it's been a really exciting women's season. Yeah. And they've already punched their ticket to the ASUN tournament. That will begin on March 7th. But they still got two big-time conference games before that. Got a lot to prove going on the road to take on Austin Peay. And as I already said, this Saturday is senior day versus Queens. They want to win with 2 straight wins after coming up short in last week's games, losing to Stetson and Central Arkansas. So, Schrader, before we move forward, me and you have gone to a lot of these women's games together. Yeah. What are a few things they have to do in order to win out the rest of this season, which are 2 more games, win these last 2 games to have some momentum going into ASUN tournament play?
I mean, it's pretty simple. All the girls have to do is finish these games out, right? What we saw in these last 2 losses is that they were unable to really keep it together and secure the win at the end, which is something they did during their 3-game win streak. They were able to, if they were in a pickle at the end of the game, they were able to just take the game over and get the dub, and they kind of lost that ability against Central Arkansas and Stetson. So going against Austin Peay and Queens, if they can continue to play the basketball they've been playing and then just be able to hit the shots when you need to, kind of not fall apart at the end, go into the ASUN tournament with 2 straight wins, man, sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah, that could be big time. That could definitely be big time. But the season isn't just wrapping up for them. Our men's season's also on their last 2 games, and they're playing the same 2 teams, just in reverse order. Tonight at the Coliseum at 7 p.m., right when Sports Pack ends, we'll be shooting over there to watch our men's team at home versus Queens University of Charlotte. Now, our men's team still has a lot. Yeah, it sounds pretty official. Queens University of Charlotte.
Welcome to Queens University.
It's good. But yeah, this is a big game because Queens is currently the only team in our way right now of our men's team punching their ticket to ASUN tournament play as well. They are currently the second to last team in the conference, and the worst 2 teams in the conference don't make it. Queens is 1 game ahead of West Georgia. They have got to win this game to control their own destiny. Because if they can win this game against Queens and win this game and win the next game, which is our last home game this Wednesday against Austin Peay, that right there, that punches their ticket into the tournament. That right there gives the West Georgia Wolves a fighting chance. They can still come out as the conference tournament champions. They just got to win these last 2 games, John.
Yeah, they do got to win these last 2 games, and it is Central Arkansas that is 1 game ahead of us right now in the men's. I think,
we just lost to them last week, so I didn't really.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens coming to the end of the season. Obviously, I don't think we really expected it to be this way, but hey, look, you got 2 home games, get a little extra rest, get a little extra time to chill out. So hopefully, it just helps them, and they go out there and just play their game, and hopefully get to the tournament.
Yeah, like you said, John, it was pretty unexpected, but something else that was unexpected, our baseball team has started off red hot.
They're cooking.
Currently sitting at 4-2 after a big-time series win against Ohio University, winning the first game 3 runs to none, losing the second game 4-2, but then coming back on Sunday to win the third game of the series 4-3. Our baseball team has been outright balling. Carly, can you let us know a little bit about this team?
Yeah, so especially one player in particular, senior Lane Pearson, he earned ASUN Pitcher of the Week, which is incredible across the whole conference. He's
been awesome.
I mean, he's been incredible. I mean, he struck out 8 of the Ohio Bobcats, only giving up 3 hits while he was on the mound for 7 innings, which is insane.
3 hits in 7 innings. He was lights out.
He made them look silly the first game. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, that's the kind of stuff we need here at West Georgia. It's been a down year in baseball. Football was entertaining, but we went 4-7. A lot of 1-score games, but it was really a down season. But seeing baseball and also our softball team having a lot of success with a dynamite arm like that one on the mound, that's the kind of stuff that gets me juiced up. And we're going to need a lot of that juice for this Wednesday's game on the road at Georgia Tech. If you're in the Atlanta area, make sure to swing by this Wednesday at 4 p.m. to see our West Georgia Wolves take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who are a very talented team. And I know Georgia Tech recruits very, very well, and they always keep a very solid baseball team. So it's going to be a good game, very entertaining nonetheless. I'm not sure how it's going to go. That's going to show us a lot about this Wolves team. If they can find a way to win that game at Georgia Tech.
If they beat Georgia Tech, dude, we need to send all the waivers to the NCAA to let us go to Omaha.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
At that moment.
Dude, if they beat Georgia Tech, I'm gonna act a fool. But before that, our women's team has a road game tomorrow. Our women's softball team has a road game tomorrow at Samford at 5 p.m. Now, if we rewind back a little bit, you can remember our first ever Division I athletic game was a football game. No, it wasn't. It was volleyball. Our first D1 football game, though.
Yes.
Like I caught myself. Our first ever D1 football game was a home game versus Stanford. Samford, where we got a big-time win. Yeah. Fireworks went off and everything.
Yes.
So I'm thinking history might repeat itself here tomorrow night as our softball team, who's been pretty hot so far, they're sitting at 4-4 right now.
Says.
Yeah, Lil Birdie on my shoulder's telling me they might get it done this weekend against Samford as well. I've been very, very impressed with our softball team. They started off 4-4, a little rocky every now and again. Lost to Maryland 7-2 this weekend. Also lost to Georgetown 10-4. But they picked up a big-time win against Wagner 7-3 as well. So this season's been pretty pretty up and down so far. They're still trying to figure out where they stand, but I still have a lot of faith in this softball team. Now, before we move on, Carly, can you tell us a little bit about our golf teams?
Yes, so both of our golf teams have our first tournaments of the semester. Actually, today and tomorrow, our men's golf team is at the World Golf Village Collegiate Tournament in St. Augustine, Florida, and it's hosted by Eastern
nice.
Kentucky. So that's super cool. I'm really excited for this golf team. Both of them are looking really good, so I'm really excited about that. But our women's golf team is at the Bab Stephan Invitational, which is in DeBerry, Florida, which is hosted by Stetson. So really interested to see how golf's going to go, and I'm excited it's back.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and I'm just going to tell y'all this real quick before we move on. I've been working on my swing. Let me tell you, now look, golf takes time. It's very mechanical. It's also very mental. You know, Charles Barkley had that hitch in his swing for years. Yep. I'll tell you right now, I ain't got no hitch in my swing. My swing is coming together, and it's coming together very nicely. I'm putting in some work at Top Golf, working on my short game a little bit as well.
See you out of the driving range, Richard.
Give me 3 years.
Oh.
Give
Three.
me 3 years.
US Open is
you're
yours.
not wrong.
Exactly. Give me 3 years. Y'all gonna see me. We're gonna go to the range together. I'm gonna be lights out. Y'all gonna be like, oh my God, is this Richard? Or is this a dark skinned Tiger Woods? No, it's Richard. And like you said, and the US Open will be mine. 3 years, mark my words. I might be the Falcons GM by then too, so
Okay.
who knows, we might see. Dine West is committed to offering a diverse menu that accommodates a wide range of dietary preferences, including vegan, gluten-free, and multicultural options. Their menu changes daily, and you can view the weekly offerings for both East and West Commons dining halls at westga.edu/dinewest. That is westga.edu/Dine West. Now, we're going to take a quick ad break, but stay tuned because when we get back, we're diving into this insane weekend of basketball we just saw and talking about a few games that are coming on tonight. Stay tuned. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
Don't worry, there's a lot going on in the sports world. Catch Sports Pack on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Wolf Sports Network for all the sports updates you need. The Wolves play here.
Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through the WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
It's a brand new season, and you know what that means. A brand new series. Kool-Aid Jackson Cook. Mark my words, by the end of his career, Nolan Arenado will be better than Chipper Jones. Jackson Cook. New short series, exclusively on Wolf Sports Network YouTube. Kool-Aid Jackson Cook. Make sure to like and follow on all socials for more content.
It's a tale as old as time. All good things must come to an end. But this final ride is going to be legendary.
Oh, yeah.
More legendary than this.
Is this the dagger?
And this.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown!
So be sure to listen to Triple Threat every Friday starting at 11. Only on Wolf Sports Network.
Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And we have a brand new show coming to Wolf Sports Network, The Playbook, where they talk about everything going on in the college sports world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
Let's talk some college hoops. Now, before we really get started, I want to tell y'all something y'all might not know.
What's up?
Now, when everybody thinks about women's college basketball, they think of the same few teams. South Carolina. UConn. Who else? LSU recent years. Iowa.
Throw some Texas recently.
A little bit of Texas. Yeah, Texas has been balling in the SEC as well. The SEC's been doing good in men's and women's college basketball. But the number one team in the nation was not any of those teams I just named. It was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who were sitting at 24-2 and 15-0. Yes, 15-0 in ACC conference play. I know what you're thinking, isn't Notre Dame usually independent? And yes, they are, but for basketball, exactly, only for football. They move around different conferences, but for basketball, they are in the ACC.
Money.
But let me tell you, they are now 15-1 in conference play.
How'd that happen?
As they just lost their first conference game to the 13th ranked North Carolina State Wolfpack in a 104-95 double overtime thriller.
Two of them?
Two of them things.
No way.
Two of them things. Now, when you look at the box score, you're like, okay, Notre Dame might have found a way to win this game. With 26 points from Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles giving them 22, and Sonia Citron giving them 23. But NC State matched their freak to the max, with Zoe Brooks dropping 33 points, Tilda Trigger dropping 19, and Isaiah James dropping 20. Nobody in NC State's starting lineup had under 10 points. They were all in the double digits.
Dang.
It was a complete team win by NC State. They were up 3 going into the end of the game. Notre Dame hits a buzzer beater to take it to overtime. Overtime, it's a battle. But in double OT, you could tell who was ready for it. Which team was stronger. Which team really wanted it. As NC State ran away and hid from the Fighting Irish in double OT to win this game. Now, Lim, I want to start with you. Tell me, what are some things you think about this game and the overall title picture in college basketball right now? In women's college basketball right now.
College basketball, I ain't going to lie to y'all. I don't watch women's college basketball like that. But I have seen some of Hannah Hidalgo, even, though they lost. She's a very good player. But in terms of like this game, it was I mean, high level, high intensity game. NC State came to play, and I think they're being 13th in the nation. I feel like women's college basketball is kind of starting to be like men's college basketball. Like anybody can be beaten. UConn's losing, USC's losing. So it's very competitive in women's college basketball right now. So I think the title's up for grabs. I mean, UConn might not just be the team that's everybody's favorite. It could be USC. It could be Texas. It could be somebody else, like NC State, who just won today. Like you just don't know. So I mean, tough win by NC State, man. So shout out to them. I feel like women's college basketball is definitely. I think I got a lot of people watching it this year. So we'll see how it goes when the tournament comes around. But it's definitely a lot of teams that can get that trophy, man.
Yeah, I mean this is a huge win for.
Massive. Like low taper fade, massive.
Like low taper fade. This is a massive win, and it's a program defining win. But then you look at what this loss does for the rest of the field. I mean, you got Texas, UCLA, USC, UConn, South Carolina, LSU, North Carolina, NC State, and TCU all just waiting. Like this tournament's going to be insane. This is a very competitive field. I mean, there's nobody. There's like 2 teams with 7 losses in the top 25. It's insanely competitive. So what this does for the tournament is it opens up the door for a lot of teams. But I'm not gonna, like I say every week, I'm not gonna put any light onto what's gonna happen in that tournament until it happens, because it's so crazy, especially with a field like this.
Exactly, dude. When it comes to March Madness, like you're saying, especially with a field like this, there's no telling what may happen. College basketball is unreal. The NC State men's and women's teams both went on crazy runs last year in the tournament. So I'm extremely excited. I cannot wait for March to get here. But before March gets here, we still got to determine regular season champions and conference tournament champions.
We got a whole lot to go.
We have a big time game in the Big 12 that's going to go a long way of determining who the regular season conference champion is in the Big 12 conference. The Houston Cougars took down the 8th ranked Iowa State Cyclones 68-59 this weekend. But that ain't the only big game they have, because tonight at 9 p.m. they're going on the road to Lubbock, Texas to take on the 10th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders, a Texas Tech team that has been one of the hottest offenses in college basketball, taking on a Houston Cougars team that has been one of the hottest programs in college basketball over the past 5 or so years. Riddled with experience, very well coached by Kelvin Sampson, extremely good Houston team, really looking to prove a point. Because going into this season, people always say, man, yeah, Houston's good. They always have really veteran players, well coached always, play hard defense, they can hit the 3. But they never get it done. They always seem to get into the tournament, maybe make it to the Elite 8 or the Final 4, but they never get there. This Houston team is looking to prove a point tonight. Looking to prove a point this season, and that starts tonight. by going on the road to take down the Texas Tech Red Raiders, a team that people are starting to pencil into the Sweet 16 and maybe the Elite 8. A win right here would show the nation that the Houston Cougars are legit. Lim, I want to start with you. Do you think Houston can get it done tonight? Or the Texas Tech Red Raiders stay hot and win at home?
Oh man, I'm not even gonna make a prediction for that game. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be too much of a good game, man. It's a Big 12 matchup. Like I said, I feel like any game is winnable in the Big 12, regardless of the seeding. So we'll have to see. I'm sorry, I just can't make a prediction on this game.
It's fair.
I just can't. Gotta hold the tongue, man.
Yeah, I just can't. But it should be a good game though, for sure.
Oh, it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Because it's actually at a time where I might sit down and watch this college basketball game, which is a big deal for me. I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but I think
if you're gonna watch one, this is the one to watch.
Yeah. I see the numbers next to these teams, dude. Top 10 matchup.
Oh yeah,
big, especially at the underdog's house. I mean, ESPN's only giving Texas Tech a 38% chance to win this game.
Wow.
But I'm gonna go with Texas Tech here.
Okay.
I think they're gonna catch Houston on somewhat of a hangover from the last game, but it's gonna be a crazy environment down there in Lubbock, and those fans don't get this kind of environment that often. So I think that this is going to be a huge game for Texas Tech to say, hey, we're still in the running for this conference championship, kind of reassert themselves.
Texas Tech Red Raiders!
I was waiting for that before I was going. That's why I kind of I was waiting a little bit.
The Red Raiders are legit. So is Houston. It's going to be a great game. But there was also another big-time game this weekend on Friday with the Michigan State Spartans going on the road to take on the Michigan Wolverines. That was a top 15 matchup.
Yes.
Michigan was ranked number 12. Michigan State was number 14. But Michigan State pulled it out and won that game 75-62. And with that win, they punched their way into the top 10. They're currently sitting at number 8 right now and the highest ranked team in the Big Ten Conference. Michigan State has floated around this entire season. Head coach Tom Izzo and the guys have had a really, 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 really good team all year. But they've been disrespected. Why have they been disrespected? Because they don't live off the 3 ball. At least that's why I think. Because there's no way this team should have been sitting at 21-5 and being the 14th ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
That made no sense to me. It just made no sense. But after this big time win against Michigan, there was a time where Michigan really jumped out on them this game. Looked like Michigan might run away with it. But Michigan State just stayed consistent, kept doing what they're doing, turning defense into offense, not selling for the free, but taking those mid-range jumpers. This Michigan State team is legit. And they are starting to gain the respect of everybody in the country. Going into this tournament, I know, Schrader, you always talk about the fact that you hate making brackets because they're always going to be wrong.
Yeah.
But if there's one team that you can bet on that you might be right about making an Elite 8 run, I think it's Michigan State. I think it's Michigan State. I think Michigan State is the team that I'm super high on this year. I'm loving watching them play. Well coached by Tom Izzo, and he's finally got the talent.
Amazing.
Say that again?
Watching them play this kind of bully ball that they play, dude.
It's incredible.
It's so different than everybody else. Like, everybody else just yucks up threes all the time. It's kind of the brand of basketball we play now. And so watching Michigan State play that fast physical defense as well as...
it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
It's so pure. Let's talk about some basketball.
Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Baby, let's talk some NBA. Hey, that's what I meant to say. I was saying let's talk some basketball. I meant to say let's talk some NBA basketball.
You all good.
Because it was a very interesting weekend in the NBA this weekend. I'm going to run through a couple games real quick before we really start discussing. Starting off with the Boston Celtics, who had a home game against the New York Knicks. A lot of Knicks fans really started hyping up this game because they've been hot recently. They got Jalen Brunson. Karl Anthony Towns has been on a tear as of lately. They're really thinking, if we're going to beat the Celtics and make a statement, this is our chance to do it. Well, the Celtics dominated. As they have been doing the past couple seasons, winning 118-105. And there was another game this past weekend. The Warriors, the Golden State Warriors with Jimmy Butler, taking down the Dallas Mavericks in dominant fashion.
Steph Curry!
Winning 126-102. Then let's fast forward to another game. That was also last night. With the Cleveland Cavaliers, the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, if you didn't know, taking on the 2 seed in the Western Conference, the Memphis Grizzlies, and winning in a 129-123 bloodbath. Wow. It was an absolute monster of a game. It was great to sit back and watch that. Now, I know I listed off a lot of games real quick, but I want to pivot back to the Eastern Conference because it's obvious. After watching the Knicks get dominated the way they did against the Celtics, it's a 2-horse race in the East right now. It's the Cavs and it's the Celtics. 2 extremely high-powered teams. The Celtics are looking to make 2 in a row. And the Cavs looking to punch their ticket and show everybody we don't need LeBron James to have success here in Cleveland. We got Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and a whole bunch of other guys that they can get it done with. So, Lim, I want to kick it to you first, once again.
Yes, sir.
When looking at these two teams in the East, who do you think would win in a 7-game series if it was played right now today?
If it was between Boston and
Boston,
Cleveland?
Boston and Cleveland.
Boston? I think Boston will win.
And it's a no-brainer.
No-brainer. Because, Cleveland is good, and they're they have one of the best records in the league, but Boston, I'm going off of how they did last year. They won the finals last year, and I'm going off of Jason Tatum and Derek White being on the USA team this past summer. I'm going off of that, and I just think they have the experience to go back to the finals and win it. So I got Boston going back all the way.
Schrader, you think the same thing?
No, I'm gonna go Cleveland just simply because they have that chip on their shoulder. Like that city, they're gritty. When it comes to sports, their teams are known to be gritty, and I really think that Cleveland could take it because they're trying to prove the point that we don't need LeBron. The only time that franchise has really ever sniffed success was with LeBron at the helm, and so I think they're really trying to prove that they can do it without him, and I think there's a lot of chemistry on that team. I mean, they got Donovan Mitchell, and that dude's a dog. That dude's going to do anything he can to get this team a win, and I think it's his time, for sure.
John, what do you think?
See, I'm gonna agree with Schrader. I think Cleveland, because I like what you're saying. They have the chip on their shoulder. They're trying to prove we don't need LeBron anymore. We can go win. I like that. Not that you're not wrong. Celtics, they played great last year, and obviously they won the chip. And I like you mentioned the USA team and the way they played. So, but from what I've seen, I'm gonna go with the Cavaliers on this one.
Now I'm gonna take a page out of your book here, Lim, and I'm gonna ride the fence. I posed the question, and I'm not gonna make a pick because I have no idea.
Plead the fifth on that one.
But I will say this. Of all teams in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers match up the best with the Warriors. Not the Warriors.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
With the Boston Celtics.
You're going back to 2016, man.
I'm thinking ahead
time
here.
traveling.
I'm thinking to the next topic here.
You're good.
But I think they definitely match up the best with the Celtics. Well, I look at this team top to bottom. I look at what they did last night. 33 points from Donovan Mitchell. 25 points from Evan Mobley. Then you look at their bench, 26 points from Ty Jerome, who was lighting it up from 3 all night. It's an extremely talented team, top to bottom. They often go 2 7-footers on the floor at a time with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. They can both hold it down in the paint.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be legal.
2 7-footers is insane.
2 7-footers that can hold their own defensively. Evan Mobley can guard the perimeter if he has to, and he's also developed the next level of his game where he can shoot the 3 and score at all 3 levels of the court. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous to watch. And then that's without Darius Garland, who was hurt and didn't play last night. This team right here is dangerous, and they lead the league in bench scoring. And what did you say the other day, Schrader? You said they're the most efficient NBA offense we've seen in history.
The Thunder?
Statistically.
Yeah, the Thunder statistically.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay.
You said that about Thunder. I was thinking about the Cavs. See, I'm getting tongue-tied today. But to nail that last point home, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are the best well-equipped team to take down the Celtics. If there was a series played today, I don't know, but I'd expect to see it go into 7 games. Because this team right here, as long as they can stay healthy, they have a great chance of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And in my eyes, a 50-50 shot of taking down the Boston Celtics. But that right there is going to be an amazing series. It's going to be great to see how they play down the road. Now, I want to go back as well to one sports pack ago, last Thursday. We talked about the Los Angeles Lakers.
Right.
And we were a bit critical.
Oh,
But
we
you
were more
know,
than a bit critical.
I like to say we're in the business of overreaction. When you play bad, we're going to talk about it, make it seem like it's the end of the world. And when you play good, we're going to make it seem like you're the best thing since sliced bread. And I can tell you, I think the way the Los Angeles Lakers played this past Saturday, they're better than sliced bread. Watching them play against the Denver Nuggets was incredible. 32 points from Luka Doncic, 25 points from LeBron James, 23 points from Austin Reeves, and 21 points from Rui Hachimura. Watching this LA Lakers team play with Luka against the Denver Nuggets team that has been giving them fits the past few years, has knocked them out of the playoffs the last 2 years. That right there was incredible. All doubts I had for this Lakers team have gone away that fast. Because watching what they did on Saturday, if they can find a way to play like that offensively and defensively throughout the rest of the season, they're going to be in great position going into the Western Conference playoffs.
Yeah, and I want to say, I kind of just I see them doing good things because I see, like, I don't know if y'all might know JJ Redick and LeBron. They were on a podcast. I don't know if y'all knew about that last year. So just that podcast lets me know like they have basketball minds and they understand the game.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
also with Luka coming over, I said this before. LeBron had Kyrie Irving on his team, and they won the 2016 NBA Finals. So I feel like this could be the same case here, knowing that they have JJ Redick and LeBron James on the team who understand basketball, who understand the game, understand the nuances of the game. So I think it could work, and I think based off of this win versus the Nuggets, I mean they were just flowing the whole game. Luka looking comfortable.
Looked good.
So if Luka can look comfortable the rest of the way. Oh, it could be scary in the Western Conference. It could be scary.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, here we saw something that I wasn't quite expecting was they won without having to play crazy defense. Because I don't watch a lot of NBA, but I know that we talked about, like, all right, they added to the backcourt, but they didn't have much. In fact, they took away from the front court to add to the backcourt.
Anthony Davis.
And that was going to cause some defensive struggles. But what you saw here is they stopped what, with my ball knowledge, is one of the better offenses in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Like, the Nuggets are insane. They have Jokic. Dude just, like, chucks it up from wherever he wants to, and it goes in. So, being able to do that, and, I mean, you have Luka and LeBron with Austin Reeves, with all those guys. Like, you're going to find success offensively, and they had success defensively. And when you see complementary basketball, this team, they're going to win.
Yeah, it was great to watch. And then what we saw in that game was they let Luka be the primary ball handler.
Yep.
LeBron got out of the way, and like LeBron said in his post-game press conference, I have a great quarterback, now it's time for me to be a great wide receiver.
Ooh.
And he did just that. If they can continue to keep that mindset, LeBron can accept the fact that he's not the quarterback of this team. He's just going to have to be a great wide receiver and let Luka facilitate. This team could be dangerous. Yeah. Because like we're saying, we knew it was only a matter of time before Luka got his swagger back. He got it back that night with 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. If we can see Luka continue to play at this level with this Lakers team, it's going to be a very interesting race in the West because the Nuggets are still here. Yes, they just beat the Nuggets by 23 points, but I can tell you what, the Nuggets ain't going nowhere. You're not going to hold Nikola Jokic to 12 points every single outing. That's just not going to happen. You still have the Oklahoma City Thunder, an insane team. Probably arguably the best two-way team in the NBA right now, led by MVP frontrunner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You still have the Warriors creeping around. You have the Grizzlies, who a lot of people don't understand are the 2 seed in the Western Conference.
West is the best, I guess.
Dude, the West is the best always. I feel like year in and year out, the Western Conference is the best.
Yeah.
The Clippers are still creeping around back there. Kawhi Leonard is back healthy, and they are playing some pretty good ball out there in L.A. The Timberwolves made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. I'm still not selling my Dallas Mavericks stock. There are a lot of good teams in the Western Conference to watch out for. It's going to be a very interesting race. Binge drinking is consuming 5 drinks or more on one occasion for males and 4 drinks or more for females. However, some college students drink at least twice that amount. That is why the Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined forces with Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign to make sure that our wolves stay safe when drinking. Never drink under the age of 21 and always have a designated driver. Oh, and be sure to throw in some good food while you're at it. Maybe some Dine West. There's some other great food options around Carrollton as well. Yeah. But stay tuned, because we're going to talk about this crazy NFL offseason talk. People are talking about trading Matthew Stafford. Can you believe that? And we have a whole lot more sports news to get into. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
You are listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network, your home for all things UWG athletics.
Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through a WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
Sports fans, are you looking for a show where you can see other sports fans sharing in your misery and excitement? Then Sports Out of Pocket is for you, because we're fans too, and we experience our highs.
Hugh Bertagine is not a safety. He's just a corner who will lock down your number one.
And our lows.
Trayshawn Ward. Screw you, buddy. You were on our team last year, and you gave us no mercy, okay?
So join us every Wednesday at 5 to cheer and boo along with us, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's time to introduce Wolf Sports Network's newest show, The Playbook. Your home for college football, baseball, and basketball. And just like VCU in 2011, we're set to make a Cinderella run to the top of a Wolf Sports Network.
The Rams are going to the Final Four!
Tune in live every Tuesday from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And we have a brand new show coming to Wolf Sports Network, The Playbook, where they talk about everything going on in the college sports world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
Dine West will soon introduce new stations, including a ramen station and a fuel for performance nutrient station at West Commons Dining Hall. These additions are designed to provide more food choices and cater to different nutritional needs. More information is located at UWG_Dine_West on Instagram. That is UWG_Dine_West on Instagram. In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty. Some interesting things are happening in the NFL right now. I know you think we're about to talk about the Combine and Shedeur Sanders sitting out, but not yet. We're going to get to that in a second. There's some other rumblings going around the NFL world. As Rams star quarterback and Super Bowl champion, Matthew Stafford has been granted permission by the LA Rams to seek trade opportunities. Now, when I first read that, I was like, there's no way this is real. I did some digging, watched ESPN this morning and a few other great sports stations, and it was true.
That's crazy.
Matthew Stafford wants more money. He's set to make $21 million this year. Now, we all know he's 39 years old. He's on the tail end of his career, but he's still playing great ball. I expect 2, at most 3 more seasons from Matthew Stafford. But I thought he was in the perfect spot with the LA Rams, a team that is very close every year. He's already won a Super Bowl with them. They were a couple plays away from beating the Philadelphia Eagles, the team that went on to dominate in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a Rams team that looks like it's very, very close to getting back to that big stage. But Stafford seems to be looking for the door. Now I want to open it up to you all. First of all, give me your initial reaction to this. And if Stafford does get traded, where do you think he might go?
Ooh. I mean, I was obviously I was a little late to the news. Obviously, you told me earlier, and I was like, wait, like this is actually true? Because I kind of on the same page. I thought Stafford was gonna like stay in LA for however long and retire in LA.
Yeah.
You know, in the career, and it was kind of interesting. And for a team he could be traded to, it's probably the Giants or the Raiders in my mind as the current moment. I just saw an article that said the number 1 spot would be the New York Jets. So you know,
yeah, I mean, yeah, that
would be worse.
And like, if I'm Stafford, my main thing is this Rams team has gotten very close.
Why
every
would you
year.
leave?
Yeah, it was a very good team last year, way better than people thought. The defense is super young.
True.
You have
And
guys
they're
like
really
Puka
good.
Nacua,
Verse and
Cooper
Fisk,
Kupp,
that's all you need.
Cam, I mean, dude, like this. I don't understand it. I don't understand looking for the door, especially when those are your primary suitors, the Jets and the Giants. I don't understand leaving.
See, there's the Jets and the Giants and the Raiders, which I feel like the Raiders could be a lot better of a fit than people think.
Yeah.
But a team that I'm seeing are the Steelers.
Yep.
And I think if I'm Matthew Stafford and I have to pick one of these low-level teams to go play my final 2 years of football, I'm going to the Steelers.
It would have to be the Steelers.
Because they're much more established than the rest of these guys. I mean, you look at the Giants, who knows what's going on with that franchise.
no telling.
You look at the Jets, there's even a bigger question mark. I mean, maybe the Raiders, because the coaching staff is elite.
Right.
They just randomly just spawned in one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL.
Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, I mean, the list goes on.
It's insane. And then their respect to keep some of the lower guys that were already there for the guys that were on the Raiders. Like, I think the Raiders are going to have a big jump this season. But if I'm Matthew Stafford and I'm leaving, if I'm choosing to leave, which I wouldn't do, I would retire a Ram. If I have to leave, I'm going to the Steelers.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is Stafford wants to be acknowledged financially for the good that he has brought this Rams program.
$21 million is a lot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback in terms of like money made. So it's wild.
Let me look at his contract.
Yeah, but I think even with that, like, I mean, even with your last 2 years, like, yes, $21 million is a lot, but I guess in terms of being a big-time quarterback, you feel like you deserve more. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but also I also don't get why he's leaving just because of that.
I mean, I feel like maybe because they kind of just traded Cooper.
I think talking about trading Cooper Kupp.
I think the Cooper Kupp thing, basically telling Cooper Kupp he's getting traded, I mean, that might frustrate him because that is one of the top receivers. But you got Puka. Like,
yeah, you do.
You still got guys.
And it's not like you're going to get nothing for Cooper Kupp.
Exactly.
Trading Cooper Kupp, you're going to get more weapons, and they're also getting rid of that big contract. So there are pros from trading Cooper Kupp. He's got to understand it's part of the business. Now, John, I know you have something pulled up here, but I want to talk about what Trader just mentioned. When looking at these options here, there aren't many great options.
No.
His best bet is to stay put and stay in LA, and I feel like that's what's eventually going to happen. They might restructure his contract a little bit, but they don't want to cripple themselves on this aging quarterback. But if he is to leave, I'm with you, Schrader. I think Pittsburgh is definitely the right situation, but they're going to have to make a few changes first. Obviously, keep George Pickens. But if they do trade for Matthew Stafford, in that package, Cooper Kupp will need to be included because that kind of weapon is what is needed to help get the Pittsburgh Steelers back to promise.
Dude, that's a huge package.
Dude, that'd be a massive package. So that'd be a massive trade, but that's what they need because the running game isn't the greatest. Isn't the greatest in LA either, but it's worse in Pittsburgh. The defense is solid, but it's aging and aging fast. So they're going to need more weapons because all they have right now, they have Calvin Austin, but their primary weapon is George Pickens. They're a bit one-dimensional. Everybody's expecting them to go wide receiver in the draft. So add Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford to that offense with George Pickens. That right there could help a lot. It's still no Rams offense, but it will help a lot. That's the only way this will make sense to me, but I think his best bet is to stay put and retire as an LA Ram. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is if, you're Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, you leave, then who do you go for as a quarterback? Obviously, respectfully, I love Stetson Bennett, but you're not starting Stetson. You're not starting Stequavius. Yeah, I'm telling you, that boy Stequavius, he was tough. But the thing that comes to mind right there is Sam Darnold. That'd actually be a great landing spot. You're not going to a horrible team. You have a decent offensive line, and you have some weapons. I will say, you're not like we were just talking about. They have their weapons. They'll probably need another receiver in the draft.
And they'll bring in some more guys. There's a lot of free agents and big time names that can go after that receiver.
Yeah. No matter this roster, McVay finds a way to win too.
That's what you're saying.
So the quarterback's going to a winning. Like Justin Fields, they're gonna go get one of the guys that everybody else is trying to get. Basically, there's so many teams that are in need for a quarterback. Like. It's crazy.
I would go get Sam Darnold if I was the Rams. I think that'd be the smart thing. He's young. He's researched his career.
What about playoff games?
True. Hey, look, that's something different.
Sam Darnold.
That is something different.
He could have, if he just won one playoff game, he would have secured.
He'd be the number one name in this market.
100%.
Yep.
But he sees ghosts in those big games, man.
Exactly. Yep. So. But you're right. There's also another big thing of playing for Sean McVay, a guy that a lot of people look at as the best coach in the NFL. Yeah. Right up there in the conversation with Andy Reid and a lot of those other big names. Sean McVay is a great coach and has been for years. He came in as the youngest coach in the league and has quickly turned into one of the better coaches in the NFL. So you look at it, you look at Sam Darnold. You look at guys like Justin Fields. All these other great quarterbacks, even these rookies, maybe they move around the draft, get a guy like Jackson Dart or Dylan Gabriel, who knows? But when you look at this team, now let's say Matthew Stafford does leave, and we're looking for a quick solution. Looking for a guy that you can add to this team that might bring some other names with him to help you succeed in this Sean McVay offense. If Matthew Stafford does leave, I think a nice quick solution would be for the LA Rams to go out and sign Aaron Rodgers.
Good Lord,
Listen.
You need to put this to bed.
Aaron Rodgers was not as bad as a lot of people thought this past season. Yeah, it started off rocky. The Jets were in purgatory, but his numbers were just about identical to one Patrick Mahomes with 26 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
Yet one went to the Super Bowl and one didn't.
Similar QBR. They had very similar seasons. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers at this stage of his career is better than Patrick Mahomes, but we have to stop acting like he had the worst season in NFL history. At the end of the year, we saw some of that vintage Aaron Rodgers in that game against the Patriots. We saw some of that sneaky athleticism. We saw those arm angles. He didn't end the season as bad as he started it. So if the Rams just need to get a quarterback and an option that would be cheaper than a Justin Fields or Sam Darnold, go out and get Aaron Rodgers, and who knows? Devontae Adams might make his way back to L.A. as well because he's been itching to get back to the West Coast.
That's true. The only issue is teams are going to look at Aaron Rodgers and say he's not getting any younger.
Right.
He took that step down this season.
That's true.
I would be worried if I'm an executive going, well, what's the next season look like?
You're right, and that's the main thing. I'm only signing him to a 1 or 2 year deal.
That's true.
Because in this draft class, if I was to keep Matthew Stafford or stick with a guy like
He's
Rodgers,
a California guy though.
Exactly.
He fit in well there.
But either way, if I'm the Rams, whether I'm getting sticking with Matthew Stafford or getting Aaron Rodgers, I am still drafting the next best thing. And in my eyes,
they get Dart, bro.
The perfect thing for I don't think they get Dart. They'd have to move in the draft to get Dart.
I guess that's
I
true.
think the best option at quarterback for the Rams will be Dylan Gabriel.
Ooh.
I think letting him sit behind Aaron Rodgers or preferably Matthew Stafford will be perfect. Gunslinger, crazy athletic. I'm not going to say sneaky athletic. Crazy athletic, big arm lefty. Dylan Gabriel's a beast. I feel like he'd be perfect with the Rams.
The Dodgers introducing Shohei Ohtani after signing him to a record-breaking contract.
Nick Saban is retiring.
Breaking news on Sports Pad. Some more of the breaking news we have with NFL coming into the NFL Draft Combine. Shedeur Sanders has decided he's not going to play. What are we feeling?
It's the Combine.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
Yeah, I'm not really tripping about it. A lot of people are kind of iffy on him. Man, you think he's too good for the Combine? Kinda, yeah. I mean, he's done enough. He doesn't. What will Shedeur Sanders gain from going out there and throwing against air?
I mean, if he does a pro day.
Yeah, he's going to do a pro day.
If he does a pro day,
he'll be good.
There's no need. Like, the Combine's just a pro day with extra steps. Like, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'm not really upset about it. I mean, of course, scouts like to see you get out there and throw. But like I just said, you're throwing against air. It's like there's a defense in front of you. The main thing is with these big-time prospects is look at their film. Right. If they're checking off boxes in the film, if they're checking off boxes while you're watching film and you're getting good character and all that kind of stuff, that's really all you need. You know what you're getting from these guys. If Shedeur Sanders had an offensive line, he might have won the Heisman. I mean, everybody knows how talented this guy is. So for guys like him and Cam Ward, this Combine isn't that big of a deal. But if you're a guy like Jalen Milroe, you're a guy that needs to go to the Combine and have a great performance because he's going to run a super fast 40. He's going to blow people away. But he's the guy that there's some question marks when you're watching his tape. So guys like Milroe and Dylan Gabriel that need to really get in front of the scouts, those are the guys the Combine is super important for.
And, I mean, if you look at Shedeur, what's huge here is, like, you could say, oh, does he think he's too good for the Combine? He played in a bowl game. Like, this guy, he earned a lot of respect for not only playing in the bowl game, but not quitting on his team halfway through the bowl game. Like that's a big step he's got on Cam Ward, in my opinion, is that he played. I'm just saying, he didn't go out just to break records.
I just want to say, Cam Ward did not quit on his team.
Yeah, he didn't quit.
The plan going into that game was to play the first half.
So he could break a record.
And then step out of the way. It wasn't to break a record.
Then why would he do it?
It was to play in the game. Because that's a team that wanted to be in the playoffs. You played a great first half. You had an amazing first half. Now, why run the risk of playing the second half and getting hurt? I understand a lot of people
might be taking
it back.
If he's not going out there to break the record, which he was really close to breaking, why would he go out there and risk getting injured at all?
Exactly. That's the thing. He didn't break the record, so it obviously wasn't for a record. I think he just went out there to get his curtain call in Miami because their last game of the season was the game against Syracuse, right? They lost their last game of the season. That's not how he wanted to go out. So it's like, you know what? Let's go out here and ball. He balled out in the first half. Didn't think they were going to lose the way they did in the second half, so he stepped out of the way and let some other people take it. That was like his curtain call.
I'm pretty sure he broke the record for touchdowns.
Whether he broke it or not, I don't think that's why he played the game.
Okay.
He played the game. It was his curtain call in Miami.
He broke the Division I record for touchdowns in a career, bro. Like, and he was like 2 touchdowns away from it. There's no other reason why he would play in that game.
Dude, I think it was just a curtain call. And even if he did break the record, I don't think it's a notch on his character. I don't think it's anything wrong with him at all. He got them a huge lead. He went out there and played in the game he didn't have to play in. Whether he finished the game or not, he went out there and played the game. When you look at Cam Ward, he's the ultimate competitor. When he first got to Miami, he said, what's your head coach? Mario Cristobal said he asserted himself as the alpha dog in that locker room. He did everything he could. He willed them through games. That Virginia Tech game, all these other big, very close games Miami was in this year, they were in it because of Cam Ward leaving it all on the field. I don't think there's any knock on his character for him sitting out the second half of the bowl game. If anything, in my eyes, he played it safe. He didn't get hurt in the game. He made it out the first half, whether he broke the record or not, put up great stats, great numbers. He did what he had to do, got out the way. It's over now. He's out of college ball, and he's a darn good quarterback and competitor.
Yeah, all that to say, the combine, which is what we talked about last week, like it is for those players who didn't get a lot of the spotlight. Sanders literally won the Heisman. He doesn't need any more.
No,
he didn't win the Heisman. He did not win the Heisman. Travis Hunter won the Heisman.
My bad.
Travis Hunter won the Heisman.
Well, anyways, I mean, Colorado got a ton of publicity. Oh my gosh, words.
Now you're good.
They got a lot of spotlight on them last season. So, I mean, he doesn't really need any more. So, all that to say.
Yeah, he's already proven a lot.
Right. Moving on, we had the NHL Four Nations Faceoff Championship. Oh my gosh, my words are struggling today, guys.
Dude, man, that's how I was reacting to watching that game. I was sitting back like, oh my gosh, that game was incredible.
Yeah, so
that game had my heart rate probably in the 500s, if that's even humanly possible.
It was absolutely insane. So Canada ended up beating the USA in overtime. Schrader, tell us what happened.
Pure heartbreak. That's what happened. That was terrible.
I mean,
I say that game was one of the best games of hockey I have ever watched. Like, that game was everything. Like, if the NHL had to say, we need to put something on TV that's going to show every reason why somebody should watch hockey, this game was 100% or 95% that. It'd be 100% if the U.S. won. But it was amazing. It was fast, physical hockey, and it was clean hockey. I mean, it was chippy at times, but there was only one penalty in the entire game, and that's crazy for two teams that hate each other that had 3 fights in the first 9 seconds 3 days prior. Like, this game was amazing. I mean, Austin Matthews just leaving the greatest player in hockey right now wide open in front of the net. Like, he's going to score 100% of the time. It was brutal, but to see that game, to see what it's doing for hockey, and all I'm saying, we got the 2026 Winter Olympics coming up.
Oh, yeah.
You want hype around a game? There's already hype around USA, Canada in the Olympics playing for actual gold. Like, keep your eyes on that. The U.S. is going to come back, but you got to let little brother win every once in a while.
Dude, that game was incredible. I started watching in overtime. That Canadian goalie.
Yeah,
what's his name again? I can't.
Bennington, something like that.
Man, he came up huge at the end.
He's nothing special in the NHL. Like, when he's playing in the NHL, I think he's like 10 and 15 right now. Like, he's not that great of a goalie. But you put him in a big game, and he just turns into the greatest goalie alive.
Dude,
he
it was
did
incredible.
He did it. He played Game 7 in the Cup Finals against Boston, where he basically did what he did against the U.S.
Man, and like you said, watching that. If that game right there didn't sell you on hockey, nothing will. Because I'm a guy that I've watched.
I can't see the puck.
Dude, yeah, I complain. I was like, man, this movie's fast. I can't see the puck, whatever. But when I cut that game on, I sat down and locked in on my TV, I couldn't look away. That game was incredible. I used to hate on soccer. Not soccer.
I'm struggling with our words today, guys.
I used to hate on hockey when I was younger, and even now I was just reluctant to watch. Like, I wouldn't come in to the watch parties here at the station and watch the hockey games. I was like, I'm not really that interested. But after watching that,
dude,
I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm finna spin a random wheel, pick a random team, get a jersey.
So good,
I am all in on hockey. That game was incredible.
Yes. Pretty insane. But moving on, so Michaela Schifrin is like a world-class skier, and she won the 100th World Cup race, which her story is really incredible because she actually had a really bad crash at another race back in November. It was actually November 30th, and she already came back, has won this. We actually watched her crash before the show, and it was rough. It was
brutal. Pretty sure her collarbone just like disintegrated.
Yeah.
So I wasn't here for that.
But yes, super incredible story from her. You guys can definitely read more on that online. But we can't close out the show without talking about MLB spring training.
We are so back.
Baseball is back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely really excited. I'm happy with a lot of the recent games for sure. So some of the first games started on Thursday, and they've been going on this whole weekend.
The only time I'm ever going to be able to say this, the Marlins are undefeated.
Yeah.
The Marlins are undefeated.
2 games in and we're undefeated. We're in unprecedented territory right now.
You know, I noticed that.
Yeah. Hey, 1-0-1. We did tie.
Dude,
we can do it all.
The main thing I noticed in spring training was Juan Soto's first at-bat as a New York Met. The $700 million man in his first at-bat with the New York Mets solo shot, home run. Juan Soto set the tone immediately.
Like silenced the crowd.
It was
not
incredible.
silenced the crowd. It was at home for the Mets. But like, I don't think I've seen a spring training atmosphere like sold out, and their outfield is basically just like a berm. Like you just set out towels and you sit down.
It was crazy.
Dude, hit that thing out of there. That place went crazy. They were giving away like jerseys, spring training jerseys, dude.
Oh, what?
Oh,
that's crazy.
Bro, it was incredible. And then when he hit that home run, like Schrader said, it was just the energy just
Bedlam,
shifted.
bro.
It was insane. It was incredible. Juan Soto with the Mets is going to be very interesting to watch over these next few years.
Decade.
Oh, yeah, over the next decade, you're right. 10 years, 700-something million. He ain't going away no time soon. Now, that's all the time we have for Sports Pack today. I want to thank you all for tuning in to another great show. Be sure to tune in, same bat time, same bat channel on Thursday. And also, don't forget, if you've been listening to us like, man, these people are stupid, I wish I could chime in and really let them know how I feel. Let them know how wrong they are. Feel free to call
Humble
in.
us.
DM us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network so we can get you involved and call you into the show. Come ready with your hottest sports takes because we would love to have you on. Now, like I said, be sure to tune in Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Wolf Sports Network. It's a Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network. God bless.